Okay, obviously coming off an extremely tough loss at home. I'll say it again, I really appreciate our crowd. They were unbelievable. We just didn't get it done. Didn't get it done offensively, defensively, special teams, and got beat handily. So what we did is we looked at our film. We have to correct the things, and we put that thing to bed, and we're moving forward. Really focusing defensively. We still have to figure out a way to get more pressure on the quarterback. Third down, we're going to need to correct that. We need to work on that offensively. It's really holding on the football. The 4 turnovers, very uncharacteristic, and then we got to score when we get in the red zone. Flipping the page, playing Florida, they had a week off. You look at them, they have a talented roster. So we're going to have to play good football and really just focus on us putting that thing to bed, and that's in the rearview mirror. We're 3-1. Our goals are intact. That's what we told our team yesterday. So we're looking forward to the next game. Questions?
Coach, you have experience playing Florida from your years at Auburn. What have you told your team about what they're going to step into on Saturday night?
Yeah, it's going to be loud. There's no doubt about that. In 2019, it was extremely loud. The circumstances were a little bit different, but we know that it's going to be loud. We're going to have to handle the noise and everything that goes with it.
Gus, do you have a relationship with Billy Napier? I know his dad was a high school coach for many years. I know you probably had some high school connections there.
Yeah.
What's your experience with Billy, and what do you think of it?
Yeah, he was assistant at Alabama. When I was at Auburn, that's really the main extent of it. And so I know him a little bit.
Coach, it seemed like the game plan of letting RJ Hardy dominate just got away from you guys. Is that the plan to reestablish in Gainesville? Yeah,
of course they had something to do with it. You got to give Colorado credit too, but that's obviously it starts with RJ. We got to find creative ways to, if you have a situation like that again, to get him the ball. Obviously, he had the long touchdown pass, but we got to be able to run the football, play action, and do our thing. And they did a good job, containing that.
You mentioned it earlier. How do you explain the challenges in the red zone?
Yeah, we got to do a better job coaching, executing and everything that goes with it, and so that'll definitely be a focus. That was a little bit uncharacteristic too, but hey, that you live and learn, and you got to find a way to improve on that. And after a game like that, you look at areas that you have to improve, and they were glaring the other night. So that's going to give us an opportunity this week to focus more on that, and we got to be better. And I really expect us to be better, really, in all those areas I talked about at the very first.
What surprises you, though, in a week 4 to have seen those sorts of deficiencies?
Well, you got to understand we're still growing as a team. Even after we won the exciting game, we had the 40, 50 new players. We're still growing and learning, and so that's what we did. Obviously we didn't get it done, but our guys. I really like the way our team responded last night at practice. They came out and practiced. You could tell they put it behind them. And then we've got to continue to grow as a team. We have 4 games under our belt. I'll tell you this, I know for sure we are capable of being a good team. And I said that the other game with that's just one game. We got to learn from it. I really expect our leadership to step up and do that and be better moving forward.
Don Struble, Black and Gold Banner. Coach, last season the Gators ranked 79th in the country in stopping the run. This season thus far they've fallen to 109th while allowing 189 yards on the ground per game. What is the utilization of the running back room going to look like for you guys heading into Saturday, and how do you hope to exploit this matchup?
Yeah, I think we just kind of talked a little bit about it. We're a run play action team. When we run the football effectively, it opens up everything else, and so we've got to find ways to run the football effectively, and they do have some talented guys. You watch them on film, they're a talented group on defense, and they've had a week off, and there could be some different things that we'll see. We got to be able to adjust and be successful running the football.
The last time you went to Florida Field, you had a true freshman quarterback. This time you go with a guy that's a veteran, who's not only a veteran, he's won there before. How significant is that?
Yeah, I think that's really important anytime a guy has experience, before he's an experienced guy. So we're looking forward to him leading us, this week.
You've been in these pressure cooker jobs before. You're not particularly close with Billy, but you kind of know what he's going through. Any advice you would give to him, knowing that circumstance up there?
After we play him, I may, but not right now.
Coach, you were able to outgain Colorado in terms of yards, 461 to 418. What needs to happen to convert that into points?
Well, I mean, the 4 turnovers, I mean, that was a big key, you know, and then our third down defense, and I mean, those things really stick out. I mean, you're not going to beat anybody with 4 turnovers. That is a quality team, and that's got to be corrected, and that was very, very disappointing, and that's got to be corrected.
You mentioned the other night that Miles Montgomery is going to be out for some time. Does that lend itself more opportunity for Penny Boone to fill that number 2 running back role, or do we see more KJ running it as we did against Colorado?
Well, I mean, every game will present it different, but, you know, Penny and then Johnny, you can't leave Johnny out too. I mean, we got, you know, even if he can't go, we got 3 quality running backs, and so, you know, each game we'll have a different plan, and, you know, our quarterback still will be a run threat, and each game will present itself different ways.
Now that you've played 4 games, have any players decided they plan to opt out and not play the rest of the season?
And not that I know of right now.
Coach, with this game coming up, you said earlier, all your goals are still in front of you. Besides the loss that happened going into Gainesville, in-state game, with everything still in front, how important and how big is this game come Saturday?
Yeah, it's important because it's the next one. I mean, you know, the way we played, you know, we need to redeem ourselves, and so it's another opportunity. Just happens to be they're the next ones on the schedule, so you know, we need to play good football.
Gus, and along those lines, in the big picture of things, the state of Florida has always been Florida, Florida State, Miami, big 3. How important is it for the perception of UCF growing to be a bigger part and be a part of that? How important is it for this game?
Yeah, I mean, it's important as far as recruiting. There's no doubt about it. In the big picture, we understand that, but it just happens to be the next one. And like I said, coming off the type of loss that we had, this is going to be about us, and we need to get our stuff together, and we need to play good football. And it's an opportunity for the next game, and it's a big opportunity.
Coach, coming into the season, we know Ted Roof had a big blitz-heavy package, and he's a big blitz guy. But it just seems that you guys have struggled to get to the quarterback in these first 4 games.
Yeah.
How confident are you in the guys that they can eventually?
Yeah, I know for sure we got the guys that can do it, and that's going to be a big key. And like I said, that'll be a huge focus on this week to do it. We've been close. We got some good eternal pressure last week, and he extended some plays that, you know, outside the pocket and everything that goes with that. So we've got to continue to help our guys out, and but we will get better in that area.
From a game plan perspective against Colorado, what's something you wish you could do over in preparation?
I mean, there's a lot of things you wish you could do over anytime it's like that. Anytime you have 4 turnovers, you can't get off the field and third down. I mean, there's a lot of things. And like I said, when you have a loss like that, I mean, it starts at the top. It starts with me. So I've got to do a better job with our coaches, with everything that goes with it, and that's what we're going to do.
Coach, this is a unique matchup that you guys are heading into, as the defense will have to prepare to face 2 quarterbacks in Graham Mertz and DJ
Right.
Blackway. What kind of adjustments are going to be made to address this matchup?
Yeah, well, both of them are talented guys. They're both a little bit different, and so we're going to have to do a good job, you know, trying to take away what they do the best, you know. So, but both of them are very quality quarterbacks.
On that note, do you sense that they like to accomplish things differently with each of those guys, or they running the offense exactly the same way?
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit differences. I mean, obviously they're going to play to each other's strengths with that. You can see that, and we're just going to have to be prepared to face both of them.
Gus, you had Miles was banged up, obviously. You talked about John Walker last week. What's his status? Are there any other health issues or guys maybe they're banged up that you may have some questionable going into this game?
Yeah, John Walker will not play. I think everyone else, I mean, we were a little banged up, but it looks like, you know, everybody was out there practicing and all that yesterday. And then Miles, I don't know. You know, I know he's wanting to get back out there. He's a great competitor, but at this, right now, I couldn't tell you.
Real quick, Trent Whittemore obviously has experience, having played at Florida. How important is it to have a guy like that maybe? I mean, he wasn't there for maybe a year under Billy, but still how the guy who has connections to that program is, and what he's been able to do so far for you guys.
Yeah, first of all, what he's done, he's one of our better offensive players. He's one of those dirty work guys that he makes us go. He doesn't get his name in the paper like the rest of those guys, but he is so critical. He made an unbelievable play on that one. And the fact that he has experience playing there, that definitely helps with really the other players and everything that goes with it. But I'm real proud of him. He's had a great year so far.
Coach, you talked a lot about how the team is going to learn a lot about themselves following the
Yeah.
loss to Colorado.
Right.
What's the best thing you think they could learn?
I mean, in life, football is just like life. You can learn so many lessons through the game of football. How you handle yourself after you get embarrassed and you have a tough loss, and becoming a man. In my experience, is teams that grow from something like that's winning football. That's winning attitude, and I really expect our team to do that. And I know coaches have to do the same thing, but it's a great opportunity for us. It's a great opportunity for coaches and players to reach deep down in and be better next time out. Like I said, we're still learning about our team. We're still growing as a team. I mean, that's just a reality, and we got a great opportunity this week. So we gotta get better, and I really expect us to do that.
You had the game already at TCU. How does having had a road game already, do you think, help you out?
No, it's helped. And like I said, the unique thing, we've had one of the highest of the highs experience, and we have one of the lowest of the lows experience. We've had both. And now that we've had both, we're capable of growing as a team, and like I expect us to do.
You've elevated UCF's recruiting since you arrived. Obviously, the Big 12 helps a lot with that. And you've gone head-to-head with the so-called former Big 3 in Florida. So how important is a game like this?
Yeah.
I know you obviously beat
Yeah.
Florida at the end of 2021
Yeah.
in the bowl game, but how important is a game like this to show,
Yeah.
what would a win do to help recruiting?
No, there's no doubt. I mean, any time you have an in-state opponent, it helps recruiting and everything that goes with it. And so in that aspect, there's no doubt.
A few more.
What are the biggest challenges for you as a coach in an environment like that? You've been there before, you've been in a lot of these live places. What are the biggest challenges for you? And then also, what did you gain from that experience of being there in 2019?
Yeah, in 2019, it was off the charts loud. I do remember that. It went down to the very end, and they had a really good team, and so it's a road game. I do think the TCU game will help us with the experience of being on the road in a loud environment, but we expect it to be especially loud, being an in-state opponent. So our guys understand that, and we got a lot of veterans. We got a lot of veterans, played a lot of football in big environments. Obviously, Trent, like we talked about, being one of them. So hopefully that'll help us.
Coach, there were still a few good things to take out of the loss to Colorado. One of them being KJ Jefferson being the team's leading rusher. I mean, what have you seen from him and how he's growing as the season's progressing?
Yeah, I mean, KJ's a veteran guy, and he did some things with his legs. They were keying on our running backs, and so that helped us. Like I said, his experience, in a game like this, I think that helps too.
One person hasn't been brought up as far as participation concerning Sheldon Arnold, who was on the sideline for
Yeah.
the game against Colorado. Didn't play a lot. Is he good to go?
Yeah, he'll be better. I think he didn't play, but I think 3 plays, but I expect him to play more this week.
Time for one more.
Coach, you're heading into a hostile environment and you're facing a team that are beneficiaries of a bye week and extra rest. What do you have to do physically and mentally to rebound?
Yeah, I really, I've just told our guys we're focused on us this week. We gotta attack those things that we need to improve on and go there and be ready to play.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right,
Thanks, everybody.
thank you. Thank you, guys.
Hey, back. Obviously, you guys aren't satisfied with your performance against Colorado. What was the major takeaway from that game after reviewing the film yesterday?
It really wasn't no takeaways. It was just like we just wasn't executing as we should be, and that comes from preparation at practice. I say beginning of the week we really wasn't locked in, like to see that this is a big game. Like they have a great group of guys, and I just felt like we just wasn't prepared enough, but we just didn't go out there and execute.
Mac, a lot of, as Gus just mentioned, a lot of veterans on this team. What's been the message from you, for yourself and some other veterans, to maybe the rest of the team about how to avoid, brushing this off and try to avoid maybe this snowballing into something a lot bigger?
We just come in there and tell them it's gonna be ups and downs. That's the game of football, So just brushing it past us and just moving on to the next game. That's the biggest.
There was a few plays where pressure was put on Shedeur Sanders, but he still was able to roll out and make a big-time play downfield. As a defensive back, what do you do in those situations where you feel like you did everything right and still ends up being?
Sometimes great players make great plays. So he scrambled out the pocket and making plays. So it really nothing we can do about that.
When you look on film, what are you seeing from Florida? What do they show?
A lot of good guys, very fast and tough. That's really it.
How do you think you match up?
We match up with anybody, you know, anybody who come to play.
So Florida has been utilizing both Graham Mertz and DJ Lagway this season. What's it like preparing for a team that uses two different quarterbacks throughout the game?
It's not a real big preparation. Well, it is big, but you know, just going out there, just watching what them guys do, watching what both of them do. You know, one play is different from the other, so you know, just critiquing both of guys and just staying focused.
What kind of adjustments do you guys have to make in coverage, whether it's in the quick game or some of the deeper plays that Colorado was able to execute last week?
I really want to say nothing like that for real. I would just say we were right there in a good position. We just wasn't making the plays, you know. So just making the play, just finishing, you know. That's it.
Don Struble, Black and Gold Banneret. You were obviously a team captain in your time at UAB. What do you take in terms of leadership to help rally your guys after a tough loss like this?
Just words of encouragement, you know. Just giving the guys what they want to hear, and just being a big brother, for real.
Mac, obviously there's a lot, being paid to Florida, Florida State, Miami being the big three in the state of Florida. What do you guys have to do this weekend, maybe to kind of help the perception, change the perception a little bit that UCF is also a part of that group of big three teams?
Just going out there and executing, like Coach say, watching film, getting to see what the guys do and what the tendencies that they lack of, and you know, just extorting them.
You're originally from Pensacola. What does it mean to you to get an opportunity to play Florida? I'm not sure if that's a school. Do you have any connections to? Did you maybe camp there in high school or anything like that?
Oh no, it wasn't. I ain't do nothing like that. You know. It's good that I'm in Florida, so I'm playing a in-state team, but I don't look at it as it's just another game.
Well, I mean, it's a team. You've grown up, and everyone would talk about Florida State. Maybe not as much about UCF, although that's changing with the Big 12. I mean, how important is this game to guys like yourself who are from Florida to prove that that you're better than those guys?
It's very important. Just being an in-state guy. Like you said, growing up, all I hear was Miami, Florida, and Florida State. So just being here at UCF, I just want to change the narrative.
We heard a lot about the 24-hour rule. How would you describe practice yesterday and the team's ability to move on from the loss?
We was hurt Saturday, but Sunday we came in and brushed it away. We guess a new game, another game ahead of us.
Gave up a great amount of points to TCU and then Colorado. Do you guys feel like an emphasis or a push that you guys need to step up on defense for these next few games?
Oh, definitely. Coach Roof came in Sunday just telling us about how we just got to finish our plays, So that's all it is, just execute. We be in the right spots at the right time. We just got to execute and finish.
Just you personally, what does it mean to be able to play a game in the swamp?
I really don't look at it as no big deal. I just look at it as the next game.
How was the team's kind of mood last night? I know you guys didn't expect to lose to Colorado. It was a tough loss to take, but how would you describe the mood? Flipping the switch.
I'd say a little. It was a little off. It wasn't the mood that we used to. Just like having the upbeat mood. So just coming in yesterday, everybody was a little ticked off, but at the end of the day, we got to move on.
You get the sense that your teammates, and I kind of asked you similarly a minute ago, but are they excited about this opportunity? I know it's a non-conference game, but you get to go to Florida. Do you get that sense of excitement from your teammates?
Oh, definitely. We're going to be excited for any game, Because guess what? The next game is the big game, So.
Matt, you guys have faced a couple quarterbacks, a couple offenses that have gotten rid of the ball really quickly. As a defensive back, how does that kind of change things in your mind when you're going against a quarterback who gets rid of the ball so fast?
Preparation, film, just seeing the splits and different things like that, and really just watching the quarterback out of three-step, just reading my quarterback cues and then going to my man.
It seemed like you guys were sending extra pressure to the quarterback, and you playing more of a zone defense on a flat over the middle. Do you guys feel like that was more giving up some slant routes and some easy, quick routes that eventually turned into big plays over deep?
Not really. It's just we was in the wrong spot at the wrong time, But we working on more zone and we working on whatever we can just to be better.
Were there any adjustments to the game plan as it went on, or was it just stick to this defense and execute?
Yeah, that's all it was, sticking to the defense and executing.
Anything else for Matt? All right, thanks so much, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, everybody. You went to University of Florida. You're a graduate, right?
I am,
At
yeah.
University of Florida. Now you've been at UCF for 2 years. What do you think it'll be like walking into that stadium on Saturday night?
Yeah, it'll feel a little weird for sure after putting so much time in there at UF. I had a great 4 years there. So it'll be, some conflicting feelings, I'm sure, as I walk into the stadium, but I'm really excited to go play on Saturday.
Trent, what's it like in your family? I mean, your mom and your grandparents, went to Florida, your dad came here. I mean, what's that like this week? Do you expect there to be a little bit of, or is everyone on board UCF this week?
My family's pretty supportive. It's kind of wherever the kids are playing, so they're big UCF and Hale State people right now. So they're on board.
You guys had big plays last week, but also had 4 turnovers. How much has Coach emphasized keeping the ball in your guys' possession?
Yeah, he emphasized it a lot. Obviously, as he was up here saying earlier, you turn the ball over 4 times against a quality team, it's hard to win, so we got to eliminate that.
Describe the Swamp. At its loudest, it's
It's very loud. It's definitely one of the top atmospheres in the country. Super enjoyable place to play. I mean, any atmosphere like that, you're going to get up and want to play well. So, yeah, I'm excited to go back.
so for the road team, you want to hear a quiet Swamp.
What's
You
that?
want to hear a quiet Swamp.
Eventually, yeah. It'll obviously be loud throughout the game, but yeah, you want to quiet it down.
Trent, obviously this matchup goes beyond your own personal history. You also have extensive family ties to both universities, as your mom, Missy, played volleyball at UF, and your dad, Mark, was a standout wide receiver here at UCF in the 90s. What does this matchup mean to you, and does this feel like a full circle moment?
Yeah, I guess it does feel a bit of a full circle moment going back. Try not to make it, too much about the matchup or like emotional ties. We just want to go out there and play, and there's a lot to be motivated for just from our team standpoint. So yeah, I mean, obviously there's going to be extra motivation for a guy like myself, but like I said, we're just focused on the team and going in there and getting a big win.
Trent, you got guys on your team that not only have not played at the Swamp, but have never even been there. You played there, and you've been going there since you were a kid. So what kind of institutional knowledge have you gained from being inside that stadium that you can pass on to your teammates?
Yeah, I think, trying to prepare them for the atmosphere. It's hard to simulate it for sure. There's other stadiums around the country that kind of have that similar effect. Is if you haven't been in it, you can't necessarily be prepared for it exactly, but just try to get them ready for that type of atmosphere, and then maybe pass along. Obviously, I still know a lot of the guys there at UF, so pass along what I feel like certain players do or whatever. I'm sure the guys on the UF defense, they'll recognize what I do as well, because we've had a lot of reps against each
Can I
other.
ask a follow-up? Just, you still know all these guys on the team, like you said. Do you still communicate with them, and kind of what's the vibe of that program right now from the guys that are still there? It's a weird place that they're in.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really speak on the vibe of it. Obviously, I'm not there. But yeah, I still do communicate with a lot of them. A lot of them were at my wedding in January. I still have super close relationships with a lot of them, and I'm looking forward to talking with them after the game.
So you had the 4 turnovers last game. How important is winning the turnover battle to ultimately winning the game?
Super important. I mean, the more possessions a team can have, the more chance they have to score. It's just mathematical. So when you give it away 4 times, you're just killing drives, and we can't afford to do that and put ourselves in a hole like we did on Saturday.
When you talk about the game against Colorado, you had obviously the big catch of 54 yards. Xavier caught a touchdown. How much does that kind of expand what you guys are able to do involving the 3 receivers in addition to what you guys have been able to do in the run for the most part of the year?
Yeah, I think it's a great way. Obviously, the more people get involved, the more the defense has to think about, and then it opens up the run game again, or the more success the run game has, the more it opens up us. So it always complements run and pass, especially when we get more people involved in the pass game.
Trent, as someone who played at Florida and is now at UCF, you kind of know how the pecking order has typically been in this state with, the so-called Big Three. UCF kind of, notch below. But now UCF's been, Power 4, Power 5 member the last couple of years. They're in the Big 12 now. How do you think the Florida players kind of view UCF and view this game? Is this like a little brother type thing they're looking at, or how do you think they perceive UCF?
I mean, I don't know. I can't really speak on that. yeah, those things they'll take care of itself after the result of the game. So we're just focused on going in there and getting a win, and stuff like that is for y'all to decide. We're just trying to get a win.
Along those lines, Trent, I'm not trying to push it, is the idea of being part of the state and being part of these schools is how important would it be for UCF to maybe come away with a win, to change a little bit of that narrative, to say you deserve to be in the same kind of pecking order as that? How important would this game be for that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously winning the game would be important to a conversation like that. But again, I think that we just got to, go look at ourselves going with a great game plan, and you just got to be focused on the football aspect of it from a player standpoint. So that's how we're going to think this week.
It seems like majority of the game plan this season has been let the ground game dominate, open up the passing game. It seems that Colorado stopped that, and it kind of just messed up the game plan on offense. Is it more back to basics, trying to get back to that against Florida?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We have been really good on the ground, and yeah, give Colorado credit. They're able to disrupt some of the things we do, but that goes back on us. We just didn't execute. So that's football in general. If you're able to execute and dominate the people in front of you, it'll open up, and obviously we weren't able to do that on Saturday.
Following the Colorado loss, Coach Malzahn said it was a missed opportunity considering all the hype, all the build-up the whole day. Is there an opportunity now with redemption, getting that moment for opportunity in Gainesville?
Yeah, there's great opportunity in that aspect. But like I said, from the player's standpoint, you got to kind of take all that out of it. I'm sure, yeah, we did miss opportunity on Saturday, but we play again the next week. We don't have another bye for a while, so it's like that for 6-7 weeks in a row. You just got to move on, whether win or loss. You got to eliminate that 24-hour rule and focus on the next game.
So you know yourself how loud the swamp can get. How does that affect the game plan with things like pre-snap communication?
Yeah, it can be tough, but we've already been on the road. It'll be a louder atmosphere that we're going into, but you just use the same principles. You communicate through hand signal or whatever it is, and we'll practice that throughout the week. And we have a lot of veteran guys, so I'm sure we'll be good with that type of thing.
You started the Gasparilla Bowl on the other side 3 years ago. So how can you describe maybe the competition on field between these teams? Being involved and being in it, and then also kind of the atmosphere you guys noticed from the stands and the back and forth between the two fan bases.
Yeah, I remember it was a really exciting atmosphere at the Gasparilla Bowl. Two teams that came out and played really hard. A lot of guys know each other. A lot of guys from the state of Florida either competed against each other in high school or now with the transfer portal. I feel like I know somebody at every school, but yeah. What was the end part of your question again?
Yeah, just the on-field competitiveness between the two teams. Was it ratcheted up any notches because?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think because the in-state matchup, like so many guys knowing each other, there is a little extra competition, but nothing beyond that.
Trent, we got to see a flash of your athleticism with your big reception on Saturday. Was it an instinctual reaction to keep that play alive, and how do you hope to contribute against the Gators on Saturday?
Yeah, I just kind of realized that I hadn't gone down. I happened to bounce off the guy, which I don't know if that's ever happened to me in game, but yeah, it was a fun moment to pick up some extra yards. And then as far as Saturday goes, yeah, just whatever the game plan calls for, and making a play when my number's called.
How many family members and who are going to be at the game?
Myself providing tickets is just close family so far. I'm sure I'll get some more asked throughout the week. My wife's family some of them are gonna be in town as well, and I'll know quite a few people in the stands, just being from Gainesville. But yeah, I'm not sure on the official count yet. I'll have to get back to you later on that.
Who are some of the guys on that Gator team that you're still friendly with, still friends with? Do you communicate with some of those guys still?
Yeah, I do. Jeremy Crawshaw, the punter, we were roommates, great friends with him. Jake Slaughter, Austin Barber, Wingo at linebacker, I talked to him last week. So there's a ton of guys. I could name more and more and more. But yeah, I still have great relationships with a lot of those guys.
Are they keeping it friendly this week? Are there some trash talk on either side? Or?
Not so far. We've kept it pretty respectful. Like I said, we're good friends, and it'll be great competition on the field.
Trent, when you think about the kind of full circle moment you talked about with this starting out in Florida, and then you just mentioned you're married now, you've gotten older, obviously. I mean, what does this mean to you? Not specifically the two schools, but just the full circle moment of where you started at and growing up in Gainesville and to be married now and going into this game the way it is?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think God has a great plan for those who are serving Him, and seeing this moment come full circle, as several of y'all have mentioned, is really cool. Even taking out kind of like the emotional side and that aspect of it. So I'm really excited just to see how it all plays out, and just very thankful for my experience just throughout college as a whole.
Trent, I know that loss to Colorado wasn't expected. You guys still got a long season in front of you. Got one more non-conference game than all Big 12. How would you characterize the rest of your teammates after a loss like that? I know it's still early in the week, but have they fleshed it and put it behind you? And how motivated is this team to turn things around?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a really tough loss. Everybody was frustrated when you come out and don't play well. But a huge opportunity this week, and then as you mentioned, after that is straight conference games, and we're in a conference that so far seems like it'll be a fist fight every week, and probably standings going up and down. So there's still all our goals are intact. Huge opportunity this week, as Coach Malzahn already mentioned, and then from there you just got to build on that, and that's football. I mean, most teams statistically don't go undefeated. We've fallen into that category as a team that's not undefeated. So you got to bounce back just like the whole rest of the country. And like I said, I mean, team seasons are built off response to adversity. So we'll see how we do.
Trent, you've been on that roster. You know those guys. Florida has struggled this year. Did they have talent? You would know.
Yeah, tons of talent. Played for an SEC championship there. They definitely have a lot of talented guys, and we're not going to underestimate that at all.
Speaking back on your big play, what was going through your mind, and how bad did you want to score?
Yeah, I did want to score. I watched it back a couple times, and just looking if I could have jumped out of that last tackle as well. I don't know. Mine kind of goes blank when you're out there on the field. You just kind of instinctually do things. But yeah, I wish I could have finished it, but it was a good play.
Maybe one more. All right,
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank y'all.
Thanks so much.